This next question is the product of my reading this excellent German newspaper, Die Zeit, which I think is the best newspaper in Europe. I noticed that researchers at Stanford have identified a protein which, transfused in blood plasma from young people, would genuinely rejuvenate old people and make them live longer. Would this be ethical? Do we have a moral responsibility to make people live as long as possible? And if an elderly person decides not to accept medical treatment, is that suicide?
Well, first of all, I'm a bit dubious about this, whether this protein will have these magic properties. So let's set that aside, since it's certainly a matter of principle. Well, I want to say two things, really. I think that if there are medical treatments which prolong life in some acceptable way, I don't mean just keep people on a respirator for the rest of their lives, but who enable people to, say, let's take the extreme example, say, would enable people with dementia to recover their, then of course we should not withhold that. That would be a wrong thing to do. But though these things are valuable, they're not infinite solutions to the problem. People who are helped not to die at 80 will die at 100 or whatever is the appropriate thing. And I think it's, from a Christian point of view, it's very important to see that death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. This idea that death must be avoided at all possible costs, the extreme sort of resuscitation, maintenance, medicine is, I think, very doubtful. And I think people who refuse that are making a perfectly defensible judgment. They don't want to have their life artificially prolonged on those terms. And so I don't think they're committing suicide in any sort of pejorative sense of the word, if there is a pejorative sense.
No. That is very interesting. Thank you very much indeed. I mean, presumably you feel that we have a commitment to live forever, but not only in this world.
Yes, oh yes, of course, yes. I'm talking about, one of the reasons I say that death is not the worst thing to happen to you is I think there is a destiny beyond death.